Welcome to the Sutton Virtual School Designated Teacher Training. My name is Kate Lyshon and I'm the head teacher of Sutton Virtual School. At Sutton Virtual School, we work to support the education of children and young people who were previously looked after, or have a social worker. There are approximately 250 young people in the care of Sutton, although 60% of those live in homes in other local authority areas. We are highly ambitious for our young people and help them to believe that they can go on to further and higher education opportunities. We value learning both in and beyond the classroom and recognise the impact that this can have on their self-confidence, self-esteem and their future learning. We want to continue to build relationships with our schools, our families and our social workers. We will try to come to as many PEP meetings as we can, as we value the opportunity to work with you directly. We appreciate that when you give us feedback and welcome this, as we want to keep improving our service every day. Here is a short video that shows what it is like to be in care from a child's perspective.
Hello, my name is Sam. Like many young people, I enjoy playing games, hanging out, listening to music, watching TV. But I have a different background to most other people my age. I'm in care, which means I'm cared for by people who are not members of my birth family. There are lots of reasons why a young person like me can end up in care. Here are a few examples.
My parents had addiction problems with drugs and alcohol and couldn't look after me properly.
I don't like my family and I chose to go into care.
My parents are in a different country and I'm not allowed to live with them.
My behaviour problems meant I didn't have a good relationship with my parents.
My parents are in prison.
My parents died and I have no other family to look after me. There's always a reason behind someone being in care. If it's decided that it's the best thing for you, you go to live with someone who can look after you properly in a happy and safe home. It might be for a little while, it might be for a long time. It just depends on your needs. Sometimes people don't see me as normal and make a big issue out of me being in care. They ask silly questions like, is it like Tracy Beaker? Tracy Beaker is a TV show set in a children's home, and not everything you see on there happens in real life. Most children will go into foster care, like me, but there are other types of care too, like adoption and kinship care. Sometimes people can say things like, you don't have a real family, no one loves you, you're just trouble, what's wrong with you, are your parents dead, your mum didn't love you, you're different, not like us. This makes me sad. It's horrible to hear these things from people who don't know me. I keep thinking to myself, I wish they knew what it was really like. In reality, I have a home, a mum, a dad, a brother, a pet dog. They are my real family who love me. I go to school, I have friends, and when I grow up, I want to be successful and have a good life for my own family. Just because I'm in care doesn't mean I can't fulfill my dreams. It can be a roller coaster of emotions being in care, but it's mostly a really good thing. I love my family and I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. I hope my story has helped you understand a little bit more about being in care. Thanks for watching. Bye.
In today's training, we hope to help you understand the role of the designated teacher, and also understand how Sutton Virtual School can support you in your role. Today's training will inform you of the key aspects of the designated teacher's role, but there are two main documents that you should read that are available on the DFE or Sutton Virtual School website that will inform you of all of the responsibilities for both the virtual school and the designated teacher. There are some key responsibilities for the designated teacher. Firstly, it is important that you ensure that all school staff are well trained to support vulnerable children, such as children looked after and previously looked after. You must also endeavour to create a culture of high expectations and aspirations for children looked after and previously looked after, and this can be supported strongly by a well-informed staff. Designated teacher must have lead responsibility for the development and implementation of the personal education plan. They must track progress, attainment and attendance for all children looked after and previously looked after, and ensure appropriate and timely interventions are used to support these young people. Designated teachers must have overall responsibility for the personal education planning for a looked after young person. The personal education plan is a statutory document that forms part of the overall care plan and must be completed within 20 working days of a child becoming looked after or moving to a new school. Each term, a PEP meeting must take place, and it is chaired by the designated teacher and attended by the social worker, foster carer, ideally the child and other key professionals. In the personal education plan meeting, SMART targets must be clearly set to support the learning development of the young person, and Pupil Premium Plus funding can be requested to support the achievement of SMART targets. Sutton Virtual School use the ePEP system, and there is information available on our website in how to log in for the first time. All ePEP documentation must be fully updated by a designated teacher within 7 days of the PEP taking place so that we meet statutory guidelines. Sutton Virtual School receives Pupil Premium Plus funding for each looked after child. This is currently £2,410 per year. For previously looked after children, £2,410 is paid directly to the school. Sutton Virtual School will allocate £600 per term for a school to use to support the education of a looked after child within a PEP meeting. However, if further funding is required, this can be requested on a needs basis. Sutton Virtual School want to support you the best that we can. We invite you to call or email us. All of our contact details are maintained up to date on our website, and we'll be willing to support you as quickly as we can around any concerns, queries, or requests for information. We will also endeavour to join you in as many PEP meetings as we can so that we're able to provide that support and guidance. Please have a look at our website. We have a designated teacher section which is updated with training videos and the latest information, and we also provide virtual training and network opportunities. We can also provide universal training, and we invite referrals for our targeted trauma and attachment support. Research now shows that children in care or previously in care have a high likelihood of trauma and attachment difficulties that can impact on their ability to learn. Research also shows that where a school has a trauma-informed approach that is reflected within their policies and practice, children with trauma and attachment difficulties can make significant improvements in their learning. In Sutton, we have a trauma and attachment advisor who can offer both universal training to schools as well as a targeted support for individual children. There are bi-monthly trauma champion network meetings which designated teachers for any Sutton looked after child can also join, and you'll be invited via email. Please see our website pages for more information. Sutton also has a graduated response to prevent exclusions. Please use this to help you to find early support for children so that exclusion can be avoided. It can be found on our Sutton Virtual School website. In September 2021, the responsibility of virtual schools was extended to include children with a social worker. This includes children on children in need plans, children on child protection orders, and children who have disabilities and a social worker. The new duties are in relation to the strategic oversight and planning rather than looking at individual children's cases. Virtual schools will now be working with local schools, local authority services to ensure that improved educational support is in place for these children. We will maintain our website updated with the latest information. Today's training will give you the starting information you require to be a designated teacher. We would love to also hear from you regarding any of the following: requests for training, information that would support you in your role on the website, suggestions for improvement to our service, and also helping us understand any of the barriers that exist within your school or your local area that limit the support that you can give to the children that we support. Please contact us via email or any of the other methods available on our website, and we will together be able to improve the educational futures for our children.